Well, hello and happy Friday. Hopefully you can hear me properly now. And if you can't, you're really missing out. So yeah, if you like these videos and you want me to continue doing them, don't forget, drop me a like in down below. Just click the button, drop me a thumbs up, or a little love heart, or a comment below, a smiley face, a thumbs up in the comments. Let me know you're doing okay out there, and let me know how you're feeling as well. Obviously, Mental Health Awareness Week this week, so that's going to be the point of my video today. Just going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. So yeah, don't forget, drop us a like in, and we'll crack on. So Mental Health Awareness Week. So my own personal experience of this has been twofold, really. When I changed back in 2000, so basically in 2000, if you don't know, in 2005, which you should know if you know me, but back in 2005, I had a bit of a meltdown. Quite a big life change in terms of my situation, which sort of prompted me to lose weight. So I started my journey, which has led me here. So back in July 2005, just to recap, 17 stone 11, as the crow flies, in a very unhappy relationship. Ended up, that relationship fell apart through sort of, not just it was as much my fault as it was the other person's, but at the time I was very angry, very bitter, very sort of I just felt like crap, basically. I was overweight, I was out of breath, and I was doing my shoelaces up. I was living alone for the first time. I felt alone, and it was quite a painful time for me. Now, back in 2005, mental health wasn't as fashionable as it is today. So I had problems, a lot of anxiety, a lot of paranoia, but it was quite a new thing. So the only person that I lent on for help was my dad, because my dad was on depression medication at the time. So I lent on him for some help, and he helped me out with it because he'd suffered from depression, back then and just previous to that, because of various issues. So that's my other exposure to it as well. Mental health problems being in my family. So I think the key point, I think, for me, went back in 2005, was that because it wasn't fashionable, I did something. What I did to get me out of it was change the way. The first thing I did was educate myself to change the way I looked at the world, if that makes sense. So with me, when I lost weight, I went through a change process. So where people struggle with weight loss, and I'm not talking about diets here. I'm not talking about, losing half a stone because you go on an holiday. I'm talking about real change. What happens is that when you change, it's the change process that catches people out, not the thing. Because the thing is always going to be hard. Let's look at it. Weight loss, new job, financial, new relationship, parenting. All these things are hard. But what the difficulty is, the change involves the person changing. And to change, you need to take action. So for me, I took action, and that was what cured me of any sort of anxiety or stress or whatever. And it didn't stop stress, and that's the key point. It didn't stop anxiety. You can't stop these things, because things like worry, fear, depression, which is thinking about the past, which is the human being's ability to think of ourselves abstractly. So what we can do is, animals don't think about the past, they just carry on, whereas we think about the past, and we think about the past when we make our decisions about the future. And that's where this comes from. So I had to learn to change the way that I looked at the world. And this doesn't make anything easier, by the way, and it certainly doesn't make the pressures and stresses of life any easier. But what it does do is it shows you that the principle is, when it comes to improving your mental health, you can only do that through taking action, and that action is relative to you and where you are. For example, when I started in 2005, I wasn't completely sedentary, I wasn't completely off the beaten track. I played football once a week, so it wasn't like I was completely sort of, like Jabba the Hutt, but I wasn't fit, and I smoked. So when I went to the gym, I didn't go in the gym and run 10 miles at 7:30s like I did this morning. I went to the gym and sat on the stationary bike for 20 minutes, because in relation to where I was, that was action, and that was my step forward. And action every piece of action that you take based on where you start from helps. The problem with mental health and mental health awareness, in my opinion, is twofold. Firstly, it's used as an excuse for bad behaviour. Oh, I've got mental health problems, that's why I behaved badly. No, it's not that. And secondly, it's often used as something that's fashionable for people on social media, and it's not fashionable. When you speak to somebody who really suffers, and I've spoken to people who really suffer, including family members, it's dark. It's really dark, and it's not something you tweet about. It's not. It's dark. And, you know, to get proper help, I mean, professional help, and I know people who've gone to that length. I mean, proper help, you know, talking, I know people that have been sectioned and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Real issues. You don't tweet that out with a hashtag. Do you know what I mean? So that's my take on it, really. So in essence, improving your mental health comes down to one thing: action. Unless you're in a place where you really need help, as in you need professional help. But if you don't, it's action. It's take a step, do something different. You know, most people think they've got to go and run for an hour. Take a 10-minute walk. Seriously. I know it sounds simple, but it is. And a lot of times it's breaking that cycle of believing your thoughts. Really important thing that I learned. You know, losing control of things that you focusing too much on things you can't control. It's another classic. Second guessing, thinking what other people are thinking, that type of stuff. And in order to break that cycle of where your brain goes, you need to take some action and do something different. And that's all I did in 2005 when I experienced problems. And that's what I'd recommend. All the stuff about kindness and all that sort of thing. Well, if you're not being nice to people without, you know, well, what sort of human being are you? It shouldn't need Mental Health Awareness Week for you to be nice to people. And just remember, nice isn't lying. Emotional intelligence and this sort of stuff isn't lying to people. You know what I mean? And there's a skill there. And so you can be kind, but you can also be honest. And that comes from discussing people's behaviours and actions versus discussing the person, but that's a different conversation. So don't just allow a 1 week it's fashionable hashtag be kind. Just don't be a dick. Yeah? Don't attack people personally. Don't think that your opinions are the right ones. Don't attack someone personally because they've got a different opinion to you. If you question their opinion or question their behaviour, that's fine, but don't attack the person. This stuff isn't complicated. So there you go, so that's my take on it. But yeah, any thoughts, comments, drop them down below. Of course, drop me a like in. Just click the button if you can while you're there. If you're shy, if you're not shy, drop me a smiley face, thumbs up in the comments. Let me know you're doing okay. And of course, if you are a woman over the age of 30 and you are crawling the walls and you want to get involved in our next virtual free trial for Bootcamp, 7-day all-access free trial, up to 10 workouts, exclusive workouts for free, plus some additional goal-setting tools, which again will help with your mental health. Just comment with free trial down below, or drop me a message and we'll get you involved. Happy Keep Fit Friday.